Greetings people, it's Jared here, Wolfgang1, back to do another Transformers review. So this week, I should have had this done yesterday. Things got away from me and then I felt really lethargic, so I couldn't be asked. So I'm running late today, so I've had to think of something really quickly to do, and I came out with this bullshit. So I thought, yeah, something that doesn't take a lot of time to edit, put together, anything like that, I'm going to choose this. And it's a toy that I reviewed many years ago. Thought I'd have another look at it, yeah. So without further ado, this is the review for Generation 1 Warpath. Right, okay, here is Generation 1 Warpath in his tank mode. He turns into a tank. That's about as technical as you're going to get from me, I'm afraid. I've got no fucking idea. Is it an Abrams M1? Is it a fucking Panzer tank? I got a fucking idea what it is. It's a fucking tank. Look, there's the tank treads. There's everything else. It's basically cast in two colours. This maroon-ish, red, brown, and like the silver to pick out everything else, like the tank treads and everything like that. A little bit of decent sculpted detail in it. The version that they did for Legacy, was it Legacy or Kingdom? The deluxe Warpath. Was a lot better in terms of its articulation, weirdly enough, and its sculpted detail. Weirdly enough, it's every Warpath that came out after this, up until the introduction of, let me just show you this one here, up until the introduction of this guy here, you can see all that wonderful sculpted detail just there. In fact, I'm not going to get too into that, because this isn't the review for that, so fuck it. Every Warpath that came out after this and in between that one was deluxe size. So trying to keep in touch the whole like sort of keeping the vein of like the whole mini bot thing. But they were all legends and like sort of small scale until they got to the deluxe. So the deluxe suits it better because you can pick out more details. Obviously you've got the articulation thing going for you. And it just, I don't know, suits the mini bots better to be like sort of deluxes. But that's just my personal opinion, as they seem to have knocked it out of the park with all of them so far. But we're talking about this guy. We're talking about the OG Warpath, the Generation 1. And it's weird. It's weird to think that this toy is 40 years old now. This is the 40th anniversary of Wave 2 of the G1 line. Now, this one either came out in 1985 or this one came out in 1986. I don't know which one. But if I've got a 1985... 1984, so that would have been the Diaclone mold. Weird, but to have this, to think that it's 40 years old is just a bit weird, really. It's in fantastic condition, far better condition than I am for 45. Let me tell you that much. And the joints on this are incredibly stiff. I had a bit of a trouble like sort of prizing it apart earlier because I've not touched it for ages. It's in remarkable condition for its age. Yeah, take a look at that if you will. His character, well, you know, I don't really tend to talk about the characters in the comics or the cartoons so much in these reviews anymore. But his character was incredibly fucking annoying, and I think what would have really benefited him was maybe perhaps like a breeze block over the back of the noggin, or a sharp implement in the groin. His character was infuriatingly obnoxious and annoying. But do you know what? The toy isn't. The toy, you know, it's a mini bot, so you're not expecting anything amazing or anything like that in terms of transformation, in terms of articulation. Well, especially in terms of articulation, that can get to fuck for the G1 toys. But all in all, for the lower price point toys, you know, this guy's fun. I remember having this guy when I was a kid, and I picked him up from a jumble sale at school. And he was missing the entire top section, like the turret section as well. So my Warpath was basically just the entire sled section, with no head or chest, which was problematic. I think in my toys he was just a reconnaissance. In my games when I was a kid, he was just a reconnaissance toy, like a reconnaissance robot and that, because there's no top bit whatsoever. Having difficulty formulating my words this morning, because I should have had this done yesterday, but I was busy yesterday, and I've been up maybe like sort of 2 hours. My brain still isn't functioning, so yeah, so if I trip over my words and trip over what I'm trying to say, that would be why. But fuck it. Let's take it straight to the transformation because it's not very in depth at all. So we start off by having to think about it. What the fuck am I doing? Start off by pulling out the back like that. And that's the part that I had trouble with earlier, trying to actually separate those two sections because that was like sort of stiff and right in there. Sounds a bit rude. And then when you start to pull up what will eventually be the leg assembly just here, and as you do that, try separating these two back sections just like this. Okay, then we come to pull this part back here as you're lifting up the body assembly. Okay, that looks a little bit awkward for sure. Let's just move the arms out of the way. Slide back the entire turret assembly like that, and then finally lift up the turret cover for the head, and there is, let's get him all on camera there is Generation 1 Warpath in all his dubious robotic glory. In terms of articulation, he can move his chest section around a little bit like that, which is kind of cool. I should have actually shown that off on the tank version, actually. The turret does go around 360, but whatever. This is one of my reviews. Not one of my reviews ever turns out the way I want it to. Makes you wonder why I bother doing them, really. And you know what? That's him. That's his robot mode. There's nothing special or exciting about it. I kind of like him. I kind of like the very, very basic simplicity of the original minibots. Having said that, however, I have got a deep appreciation for their let's just stand them both together side by side. I've got a deep appreciation for the reimagined modern day iterations. So there we are. Yeah. So let's fuck him off one more time. Yeah, he's cool. I quite like him. There's nothing offensive about this as opposed to the character. I can get along far better with the toy than I can with the actual characterization in the cartoon. And in terms of like sort of troop building, and it doesn't take up a lot of space on the shelf either. So if you was interested in like sort of picking up a few G1s to like sort of fill out your collection and that, have a look at the mini bots because they're you know, they're basic, but they're kind of fun and they don't take up a lot of room. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this bullshit of a review. This is Jared Gavin, also known as Wolfgang1, saying I'll be back next week with maybe something a little bit more in depth than a fucking mini bot. I only did this because I had no ideas what I was going to do and I was running late on the review. So yes, thank you very much for watching this. I'll be back next week with something else. Until we see each other again, thank you for watching and take care.